Have you ever wondered why, sometimes, it seems that the most unscrupulous people, those who seem to think only of themselves or who are not particularly intelligent, rise to the heights of power? It's an uncomfortable question, but the answer may be older and deeper than we imagine. Prepare yourself for a fascinating journey into the heart of power dynamics, guided by a thinker who dared to face reality, Niccolo Machiavelli. Niccolo Machiavelli, a name that evokes cunning and cynicism, was not an evil philosopher. He was a keen observer, a Florentine diplomat who, in the tumultuous Italian Renaissance, clearly saw the ruthless logic of power. His masterpiece, The Prince, is not a manual for tyrants, but a stark and realistic analysis of how power is gained, maintained, and lost. Machiavelli didn't describe how leaders should be, but how they actually are, and how they must act to survive. In an age of constant war and betrayal, the survival of the state was the top priority. For him, personal morality and political morality were two distinct, often conflicting issues. His thought is revolutionary because it separates ethics from politics. A good leader, for Machiavelli, is not necessarily a good man in the usual sense of the word. He is someone who knows how to use every tool at his disposal for the good of the state, even if that means acting in ways that, in his private life, would be considered immoral. This distinction is crucial to understanding why certain traits, which we consider negative, can be rewarded in the sphere of power. Machiavelli invites us to look beyond appearances and understand the bare mechanics of leadership. It's not an invitation to emulate these behaviors, but to recognize them and understand their effectiveness. Consider the narcissist, a person with a grandiose sense of self, a constant need for admiration and little empathy. At first glance, these characteristics seem detrimental to a leader, yet surprisingly, we often see them at the top. Machiavelli offers us a key to understanding this phenomenon. The narcissist is a master of image, a crucial aspect for Machiavelli. A prince must appear compassionate, faithful, humane, upright, and religious, and be so, but his soul must be willing to change its course if necessary. The narcissist excels at projecting an image of strength, confidence, and charisma, qualities that attract and reassure the masses. Their lack of empathy, though morally questionable, can translate into ruthless efficiency. They don't hesitate to make difficult decisions, sacrificing individuals for the perceived good of the group or their own power. This coldness can be interpreted as determination and decisiveness, qualities admired in a leader. Furthermore, narcissists are often skilled manipulators. They know how to exploit others' weaknesses, build temporary alliances, and eliminate opponents. These tactics, while ethically questionable, are powerful tools in the game of power, as Machiavelli well knew. Their unbridled ambition drives them to pursue power with a tenacity few others possess. They don't give up easily, they aren't discouraged by criticism, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. This relentless pursuit of success is a powerful engine in the world of leadership. A prince cannot observe all those things for which men are held good, being often forced to maintain the state, to act against faith, against charity, against humanity, against religion. This phrase by Machiavelli is perhaps the most controversial, but also the most revealing. For Machiavelli, truth is a means, not an end. A leader must be able to lie and deceive when the situation demands it, to protect the state or his own power. It's not a matter of lying for the sake of it, but of telling a strategic, calculated lie aimed at a higher goal. In the modern world, we see this dynamic manifest in various ways. Spin doctoring, news manipulation, broken campaign promises, these are all forms of strategic deception. Leaders know that perception is often more important than reality. If they can control the narrative, they can control people's minds. Why do people accept these lies? Often they want to believe what's convenient, what confirms their beliefs. A leader who tells a simple and reassuring story, even if false, can be more popular than one who presents the complex and uncomfortable truth. Lies can create a sense of unity or hope, however fleeting. Machiavelli didn't justify lying as a moral behavior, but he recognized it as an effective tactic. A leader who is too honest or transparent could be vulnerable, unable to navigate the murky waters of politics. The ability to deceive when necessary is seen as a form of Machiavellian virtue, that is, skill and cunning. This is perhaps the most surprising and frustrating aspect for many. How can seemingly incompetent or foolish people reach positions of great power? Machiavelli, while not explicitly referring to fools, offers us valuable insights through the concepts of luck and virtue. For Machiavelli, luck isn't just good fortune, but the sum of unpredictable circumstances, events beyond human control. Sometimes, a less competent leader can find himself in the right place at the right time, benefiting from favorable external events. His foolishness can be masked by a series of fortunate coincidences. Furthermore, Machiavellian virtue isn't academic intelligence, but the ability to adapt, to be astute, and to seize opportunities. A leader who isn't an intellectual genius can still possess great virtue if he surrounds himself with competent people, knows how to delegate effectively, or has the charisma to inspire trust and loyalty. Often what we perceive as nonsense can actually be a simplicity of thought that leads to quick and direct decisions, which in certain contexts can be more effective than excessive analysis. A leader who doesn't get bogged down in details can appear more decisive, even if their decisions are based on superficial understanding. Charisma plays a huge role. A charismatic leader, even if not particularly brilliant, can mobilize the masses, inspire devotion, and create a sense of belonging. People are often more attracted to a strong and reassuring personality than to a sharp but less engaging mind. The perception of strength and leadership can overcome a lack of actual competence. Why are these seemingly negative characteristics so often rewarded in the game of power? The answer lies in a complex interplay between human psychology, social structures, and the very nature of power. Machiavelli, with his disenchanted vision, helps us unravel these dynamics. Crowd psychology. In times of uncertainty or crisis, people seek strong and decisive leaders. The narcissist, with his confidence and ability to project an image of control, fulfills this basic need. We prefer a leader who seems to know what to do, even if his decisions are questionable, to one who displays uncertainty. The need for simplicity. Effective liars thrive because people often prefer a simple and reassuring narrative, even if false, to the complex and uncomfortable truth. Propaganda and disinformation work because they tap into our deepest fears and desires, offering easy solutions to complex problems. The nature of power. Power is not a moral entity. It is a force that must be maintained. Machiavelli understood that to maintain power, a leader must be willing to do what is necessary, not what is morally right according to common standards. Ruthlessness, manipulation, and dissimulation become tools for political survival. The natural selection of power. Power structures tend to favor those best able to navigate their complexities. Narcissists, liars, and sometimes lucky fools are simply better suited to this environment. They are willing to play by the unwritten rules of power, while the more ethical or naive are often marginalized. Delegating responsibility. People are often happy to delegate responsibility for difficult decisions to a strong leader. This allows them to avoid the burden of choice and feel part of something bigger. A leader who takes on this responsibility, even if it's through questionable methods, can earn enormous loyalty. Understanding Machiavellian dynamics doesn't mean accepting or justifying them, but rather becoming aware of them. It's an invitation to develop critical thinking and not be fooled by appearances. Machiavelli offers us a lens to decipher the world around us, a world where the logic of power is often ruthless. Develop critical thinking. Don't accept blind narratives. Question leaders' motives Analyze their actions beyond their words. Ask yourself, what's the real goal here? Who really benefits? Recognize the signs. Learn to identify narcissistic traits, manipulative tactics, and empty promises. Don't be fooled by charisma without substance. A leader who promises easy solutions or constantly demonizes opponents deserves a closer look. Demand transparency and accountability. In a democracy, we have the power to hold our leaders to account. While Machiavelli wrote for absolute principles, today we can use his analysis to understand how to protect our institutions from those who abuse power. Promoting ethical leadership. While Machiavelli was describing reality, that doesn't mean we can't aspire to an ideal. Understanding the trappings of power allows us to support and promote leaders who combine effectiveness with integrity, who are pragmatic without sacrificing core values. Understanding our part. We as citizens sometimes reward these behaviors with our vote or support. If we desire different leadership, we must be willing to look beyond appearances and make more informed choices. Machiavelli was not a cynic who wanted to corrupt the world, but a realist who wanted to understand it. He left us an uncomfortable but precious legacy, the awareness that power has its own rules, often brutal, and that ignoring them is blind to reality. Narcissists, liars, and fools sometimes triumph not because of a flaw in the system, but because they master these unwritten rules. Now that you have this awareness, you can no longer ignore it. Use this knowledge to analyze, understand, and act. Don't let yourself be manipulated. Don't passively accept prepackaged narratives. It's time to become astute observers, just like Machiavelli. Share this video with anyone you think might benefit from this perspective. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. What modern examples come to mind? And above all, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other analyses that will help you decipher the world around you. Power is a game, and the more we understand its rules, the more we can influence its outcome.